Hello everyone. I hope you are doing well. Learning English is like walking on a long and beautiful road. Along this road, there are flowers, trees, songs, and also some stones. The flowers are the joys you feel when you understand something new. The trees are the tall goals you wish to reach. The songs are the voices of people speaking English all over the world. And the stones are the mistakes. When you walk on this road, sometimes you step on these stones and lose your balance. Sometimes you even fall, but then you stand up again, brush the dust off your clothes, and continue walking. This is the reality of learning English. Mistakes are part of it. No one starts perfectly. No one speaks or writes without error from the first day. Even people who grow up with English make mistakes. If you listen carefully to native speakers, you will find they also forget grammar rules. They also repeat words. They also mispronounce sometimes. So why should you feel sad when you make mistakes? Mistakes do not mean failure. Mistakes are signs that you are learning. They are like little marks that show you are alive on the road of English. But here is the truth. While mistakes are natural, repeating the same mistake again and again can become a problem. If you want to grow faster, you need to learn how to avoid common mistakes. You need to train your eyes, your ears, and your heart to see mistakes clearly, so that you can correct them and move forward with more confidence. This is not only about grammar or vocabulary. It is about attitude, practice, and awareness. Let us begin a long, detailed journey together where I will explain step by step in the most simple way how you can avoid mistakes in English. This is not someone else's story. It is reality. It is about what happens every day when learners like you use English and how they can improve without fear. Before we talk about how to avoid mistakes, let us think about why mistakes happen in the first place. Imagine a little child learning to walk. The child falls many times. Does the child fall because walking is impossible? No, the child falls because the legs are still learning balance. In the same way, you make mistakes in English because your mind and tongue are still learning balance between your first language and English. There are many reasons. Sometimes your mother tongue influences your English. For example, if in your language you say, "I very like this," you may say the same in English, even though in English it should be, "I like this very much." Your brain copies the style of your first language and pastes it into English. Sometimes mistakes happen because you are rushing. You want to speak quickly, you want to finish a sentence fast, and in that hurry, grammar rules fly away. Sometimes mistakes happen because of fear. When you are nervous, you forget simple words, you confuse tenses, you repeat phrases, and you lose focus. Sometimes mistakes happen simply because of lack of practice. You may know the rule, but you don't use it enough. So when the time comes to speak or write, your brain forgets. And sometimes mistakes happen because English itself is tricky. English has many irregular verbs, many spellings that don't match pronunciation, many exceptions to rules. It is like a house with secret doors. You open one, you find another. This complexity can confuse anyone. So mistakes are not because you are not smart. Mistakes are because learning English is a process, and your brain is adjusting. One of the biggest problems is not mistakes themselves, but the fear of them. Many learners stay silent because they don't want to look foolish. They don't speak in class, they don't ask questions, they don't join conversations. They feel ashamed when they use the wrong tense or mispronounce a word. But think carefully. What happens if you stay silent? You may avoid mistakes, but you also avoid learning. You close the door on improvement. You keep all your English inside, and no one hears it. This way, where mistakes hide inside your brain and never come out where they can be corrected. The truth is, The only way to avoid mistakes in the long term is to first allow yourself to make them. Mistakes are like mirrors. They show you where you are weak. If you break the mirror because you don't like the reflection, you will never see yourself clearly. If you accept the mirror, you can fix your hair, clean your face, and look better. So, the first step to avoiding mistakes is to stop fearing them. Don't be ashamed. Don't hide. Speak, write, read, and listen with courage. Each mistake is a teacher in disguise. Now let us come to the real question. How can you avoid mistakes in English? Remember, avoiding mistakes does not mean you will never make any. It means you will make fewer mistakes, and when you make them, you will learn quickly and not repeat them. The key is awareness. You must learn to catch your mistakes like a fisherman catching fish. Imagine your words are fish swimming in a river. Some are healthy fish, correct and beautiful. Some are sick fish, mistakes. If you don't look carefully, the sick fish will swim away and spread in the river of your English. But if you catch them early, you can stop them. One powerful way to build awareness is to listen to yourself. When you speak, notice the words that feel difficult. Notice when you hesitate. Notice when your friend or teacher corrects you. These are signs. Don't ignore them. If you said, "He go to school yesterday," and your teacher said, "He went to school yesterday," write it down. Say it again. Repeat until your mouth remembers went. Writing is also a strong method. When you write, you have more time than when you speak. You can check your sentences. You can read them again. You can find the small mistakes before anyone else sees them. Writing is like a slow mirror, giving you time to fix yourself. Reading helps too. When you read books, articles, or even short stories in English, you see how sentences are built. Your brain learns patterns. You may not even notice, but slowly your brain starts to remember that I am going, not I going. Listening is another teacher. When you listen to podcasts, movies, songs, or conversations, you hear correct English again and again. Your ears train your mouth. And above all, practice is the medicine. Practice with patience, with consistency, with joy. Since we are talking about reality, let us explore the types of mistakes learners usually make and how to deal with them. Grammar mistakes are very common. For example, using the wrong tense. Many learners say, "I eat breakfast yesterday," instead of "I ate breakfast yesterday." To avoid this, always connect time words with tenses. If you hear yesterday, your mind should quickly bring past tense. If you hear now, your mind should bring present tense. Vocabulary mistakes also happen. Sometimes you use the wrong word because it sounds similar to another. For example, saying library when you mean bookstore. The best way to avoid this is to learn words with examples, not alone. Don't just learn the word library. Learn it in a sentence. I study in the library. That way, your brain connects the word to the right picture. Pronunciation mistakes are natural. English has many sounds that are not in your language. For example, ship and sheep sound similar, but mean very different things. To avoid such mistakes, listen carefully and repeat. Record your voice. Compare. Slowly, your tongue will learn. Spelling mistakes are also common. English spelling is sometimes strange. Words like though, through, tough, fought confuse many learners. The way to avoid this is not only to memorize, but also to practice writing. When you write a word many times, your fingers learn the spelling like a dance. Finally, mistakes of style happen. This is when you use words that are correct, but not natural. For example, saying I am very boring when you mean I am very bored. One letter changes the meaning completely. To avoid this, Observe how native speakers use expressions. Notice the difference between interested and interesting, between fun and funny. Avoiding mistakes in English is not a one-day task. It is a journey. Every day you grow a little. Every day you reduce one mistake and replace it with one correct sentence. Think of it like gardening. If your garden has weeds, you don't pull them all in one day. You pull one, then another, then another. Slowly, the flowers get more space and the garden looks beautiful. In the same way, if your English has mistakes, don't panic. Remove one mistake today, another tomorrow. Soon your English will be full of flowers of correct words. Consistency is the secret. If you practice a little every day, your mistakes will reduce naturally. If you read 5 pages, listen to 10 minutes of audio, write 5 sentences, and speak for 5 minutes daily, your brain will build strong English walls where mistakes cannot enter easily. To avoid mistakes, you need 2 strong friends, confidence and patience. Confidence gives you the courage to speak, even when you are not perfect. Patience gives you the strength to continue, even when you make mistakes again and again. Remember, no one learns English overnight. It takes months, sometimes years, to feel free in the language. But every small step matters. Every correct word is a victory. Every mistake corrected is a treasure. At the beginning of our journey, I said learning English is like walking on a road full of flowers and stones. Now you understand, the stones are not enemies. They are part of the road. You cannot avoid them completely, but you can learn to walk carefully so that you don't trip too often. And when you do trip, you can stand up stronger. To avoid mistakes in English, don't fear them, don't hide from them, and don't let them control you. Instead, face them, correct them, and keep walking. Use the power of listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Use the guidance of teachers, books, and your own awareness. Use patience and confidence as your tools. Then, slowly but surely, your English will shine. You will speak with clarity, write with beauty, and express yourself with joy. And when others ask you, "How did you avoid mistakes?" you will smile and say, "I did not avoid them. I learned from them." Keep learning, keep speaking, keep writing, and keep listening. Do not stop because of fear. Remember, the road of English is long, but it is also full of flowers. Walk on it proudly, and let every mistake become your teacher, not your enemy. That is how you truly avoid mistakes in English, by learning from them and moving forward without fear.